I don't know, man. I'm just thinking about that little girl. Think about what must it have been like that first day she was placed in that orphanage, like the first day that she was left there. I mean, damn, who brought her there? And how did that person feel when they were like on their way home alone in their car or on the train or whatever without this little girl? So, I'm out here in a spot where I love to shoot. Are you bored with this yet? Like, I mean, it's beautiful out here. I got the Mid-Hudson Bridge behind me. I have the pedestrian bridge, which is the longest pedestrian bridge in the world. And the Mid-Hudson Bridge is the car bridge. And I like to shoot out here mainly because nobody bothers me. And I rehearse down here a lot. Like I work on my play, memorizing stuff. And, like, it's not enough to just memorize stuff, by the way. I memorize stuff and, then once you have it memorized, you tweak it to actually make it good, like a play. Because basically, I'm just checking to see if I hit record. Basically, anybody can memorize, if you're dedicated enough, you can memorize a whole novel. So anyway, I digress. Like that had to be weird for that adult, right? Like whoever brought her there and then just dropped her off and turned around and left without her. I mean, that had to be weird, right? I shoot out here a lot because it's beautiful and nobody bothers me. And I can set up and I can get cool little shots in the river. Boats go by every once in a while. There's a lot of stuff like flags and things like that, trees. The train goes by here. So I could kind of naturally get a lot of B-roll if I want to. But some days like today, I just kind of come out here and talk, and I don't really add any B-roll or anything like that. But, mainly I do like to do that just because it's fun, So what I wanted to share with you today is I officially have set up a screening of my last film, This Is the End for Me, which won a Best Feature Award at the Manhattan Film Festival 2 seasons ago. Last year, my film, The Center of Distance, was in that festival. This Is the End for Me was in the festival in 2024. Yeah, and The Center of Distance was 2025. So anyway, I'm doing a screening in Asbury Park, which is a place, Asbury Park, New Jersey, for those who don't know, a place that I lived for 3 years after I left Brooklyn for the first time and my marriage had split up and I kind of wanted to go live somewhere where I didn't know anybody. And so I went to Asbury Park and it was just an amazing place for me. I did a lot of amazing work there. It's kind of a mystical, magical place. I have some great relationships from that place and I got some like unbelievable support. In many ways, I really grew up as a theater artist in Asbury Park. I went there in 2007 and I was there until almost 2011. And I still go there a lot. I became very close with this writer down there named Tom Chesick, who reviewed all my work and wrote about me a lot. And he passed away a couple of years ago. And he used to curate art at a place called the Stephen Crane House in Asbury Park, which was kind of like a museum about Stephen Crane. I mean, he lived there, Stephen Crane did, and then Tom Chesick wound up living there, and he curated it kind of like a museum. So Chesick died, and that's significant for me because every time I started a new project, whether it be a new play or a new film, whatever, I would always do my first public reading at the Stephen Crane House just because it meant a lot to me to do that, Or maybe it didn't even happen like that. Like, I don't know, like maybe somebody, meaning some stranger, just like shows up one day to come and get this little girl to take her away from her own home like that without this little girl even knowing what the hell was going on. I mean, could have been like that too. I mean, fuck. And I'm not doing it this year because Chesick's not there and Frank D'Alessandro, who used to run it before Chesick, is not there anymore. And it's just not the same, So I'm going to be doing a screening of my film this is the end for me at the Asbury Park Library, for a couple of reasons. One, Asbury Park Library is like a big cultural hub for Asbury Park. It's historical. The Historical Society works out of there. They're not charging because they don't do that. They have to, you have to do something that's kind of in alignment with what they do, but they're incredibly supportive of the arts. And what I'm doing it for is I'm showing this film. It's going to be by invite only. And we're inviting producers and investors and patrons of the arts and people who put money into creative projects. And Steve Peckman and I, who, Peckman wrote the scores and composed and recorded the scores to my first two films. And he's going to do this film as well, although if I don't raise enough money, I'm not going to let him do it because I haven't been able to compensate him properly for these first two films. And I just don't feel good about that, and I'm not going to do it again. So Peckman will get paid, and the two other actors in the film will get paid before I take anything to get gear and get insurance and stuff like that and pay myself in any kind of way. So we're going to do a screening for producers and investors on January 8th down in Asbury Park. So if you know anybody with money, any patrons of the arts, people who invest in this kind of project, please let me know and give me their contact information, and I will share it with them and grab them and get them into this space, because we're going to show them what we have done with like no budget. I've made two feature films. They're both award-winning films, and we've literally had no budget, and I've done everything myself. And this time I don't want to do it all by myself, and I want to kind of raise the bar, and I want to enable myself to at least have a little bit of help. I mean, we're trying to raise $30,000. Like, seriously, who makes a movie for $30,000? Like, nobody. I mean, it's just fucked up, you know what I mean? Like, whether she was dropped off or picked up or whatever, that shit hurts my fucking heart, But I know that I can do so much with that amount of money, and I could feel good about making sure that my collaborators get the proper respect and compensation that they deserve. Not what they would generally get for a real budget, something like a $1.5 million, bare bones budget for a real movie, an independent film. I mean, did you know that like $1.5 million is considered like impossible? Like, how did you possibly make your movie for $1.5 million? So we're asking for $30,000. So anyway, that's something that I wanted to talk about because, as an independent artist, you got to make shit happen for yourself, And as I've spoken about in the past, I never wait for anybody to do anything. I don't wait for money. I don't wait for support. I don't wait for grants. I don't wait for anything. I don't wait to be included. I've been in a million festivals over the years, theater festivals. I've made movies. I've made albums. I'm a musician. I was in the music business for a long time. I don't wait for anything. I've had my share of help for sure and support. I've done fundraisers. I've won plenty of grants and awards over the years. I've been included in things. And so I've been very, very fortunate and very grateful to have that kind of support over the years. But more often than not, I don't have any support, and I do it all by myself. And I think that that's made me a better artist, and I think that that's what art is all about. You don't sit there and you wait. You don't make excuses like, oh, I don't have the right camera. Like, I want to get a Panasonic S1H. And so I'm probably going to trade in all my stuff to get the S1H, only because I want the optical low-pass filter. And so I'm definitely going to trade in my GH5. I'm thinking of trading in the S5 as well, which would hurt me because I'm in love with this camera and I've done so much with it. But I think I might be able to pull it off just by trading in my GH5 with my micro four thirds lenses, and maybe it'll cost me like $400, $500, $600 to get an S1H, which is a pretty incredible deal. I'm talking pretty fast right now for a couple of reasons. One, I naturally talk pretty fast. If you've seen any of my theater work, I'm blazing fast. But also, the sun is just about going down over the mountain over here, and so I don't want to completely lose the light before I finish saying everything I wanted to say. And I'm thinking this too, like, I don't know, like who's there? when this little kid is putting her pajamas on at night, getting ready to go to sleep, you know? Something as simple as that, you know, when she first got there, like in the dark, you know? Or is it even dark? Like, I don't even know. Like, you know, maybe she's sleeping under those big fucking industrial lights. I mean, can she even sleep at night? So, yeah, I wanted to include that. You know, don't wait for anything. Whatever camera you have, whatever lenses you have, whatever sound equipment, whatever, you have enough. And the other thing is, if you don't have enough, there is so much affordable gear. Like I'm using the Zoom H1N, which is a great pro-level audio recorder. I'm using a Purple Panda lavalier mic connected to it. And this thing, you can get it right now for like 89 bucks at B&H. Like these things are incredible. 24-bit, 96 kilohertz pro audio. Purple Panda is a great lavalier mic. I'm using a Boya shotgun mic on top of the camera as a backup in case anything goes wrong. I'm shooting with the Panasonic S5, the original, the OG, which I think has the best image quality of all the S-series cameras. Well, maybe not the new S1 Mark II, from what I've been told. I don't know. I haven't had my hands on it, so I don't know. But I mean, if you're shooting in Vlog, it doesn't make a difference. You're going to get basically incredible image quality, even with the GH cameras, the GH5, GH6, GH7, whatever. You know, if you know how to expose, if you have great composition, if you know how to, you know, use a camera, you're going to be fine. You know, you're going to get great image quality. I'm shooting right now with the 20-60 kit lens. Like, I know people hate kit lenses, you know, and they talk about it like it's garbage, but, you know, actually the Panasonic 20-60 kit lens has gotten a lot of love over the years. You know, there's a million videos about, hey, this is the greatest kit lens ever. But it's still a kit lens, you know, and it's 3.5 to 5.6, so it's not the fastest, but it is parfocal. Like I'm shooting at 28 millimeters right now, which is, you know, the focal length that I'm used to most of the time. So I always tend to use this at 28 millimeters, but I'm shooting at f8. So it doesn't matter that it's f3.5, like who cares, f4, f5. I'm shooting at f8, and mostly out here I shoot at f8. And if you look behind me, there's some blur because those bridges are way, way behind me. So it looks good. You know, it looks beautiful actually. As long as you have your white balance set properly, and you know, I'm always using manual focus. I never use autofocus, even though this is an autofocus lens, but I never use it. But anyway, I digress like 12 times already, right? You know, like, I don't know, is anybody reading to her or talking to her? Like, she wouldn't talk? I mean, seriously? I mean, was anybody even around to be listening? I mean, who's she going to talk to really? Like, what's she going to say to a bunch of people she doesn't even really know? I guess I wanted to say I'm really excited to do this screening, to get down there to share some space with Steve Peckman and his people in Jersey, to go back to New Jersey, the place where I learned so much and grew so much and established so many really meaningful, beautiful relationships. And I'm looking forward to seeing who shows up and, you know, onward with this journey of making the Red Plaid Suitcase. And it's funny, that's the first time I said that title in this whole video, but the new film is called The Red Plaid Suitcase, but I am also developing the play, The Red Plaid Suitcase, again, a solo play where I'll be the only person on stage for like over 2 hours, and I'm developing the play simultaneously while I, you know, work on making this film. You know, and how about this too? Like, I don't know, like what if she had to get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night when she first got there, that first night, right? Like she's in this strange place, trying to find this strange bathroom, and she might have to walk down this like long, scary, dark hallway. I mean, think about that. The film is based on a theatrical script, but the screenplay is a much, much different story. It's become like a completely story unique unto itself from the play. But the play generates it, and in fact, the movie is about remounting the play, because the play got canceled because of COVID in 2020, which is a true story. But the film is a, you know, a fictional tale. It's got two characters, Judah and Sky. It's got another character who's an artistic director of a theater. And it's in a bunch of amazing locations all over New York City. It's going to look beautiful. It's going to look incredible. I have no idea how I'm going to pull it off, but I am going to pull it off. And hopefully we'll be able to raise this 30 grand and make me feel really good about working with these collaborators. Steve Peckman is a motherfucking genius, okay? great, great high-level composer. He could play pretty much anything. I mean, but he has his thing. You know, sometimes I don't like working with people who can do anything and everything. Like, I can't do anything or everything. Like, as a singer, I am what I am. You're not going to hire me to, like, sound like Bruce Springsteen or do some metal or, you know, like, you're going to hire me for the way I sound.
Whoa, you really should know your father's mother didn't accept you. It's different when two people have their own. Special in your own way, you're different than the others. I swear on a stack of Bibles that I love you.
As an actor, I'm not really like an actor who is willing to do anything. I think I can do anything, but I'm not really willing to do anything. So, you know, I once got asked to do a play, and I was playing some horrible character who had to keep saying the N-word. And anybody who knows me knows that that word is not coming out of my mouth, even as an actor. And, you know, that's kind of a flaw as an actor. Like, you know, they had a lot of disrespect for me for refusing to do that, and so I had to leave the production. And so there are certain things that I'm just not willing to do. And I don't really do everything, and I have a style of my filmmaking. I have a style of my theater work. I certainly have a style of my music. Like, I'm very stylized. And that's the way I like to be, and that's the kind of artist that I like to work with. I like to work with people who are who they are. And my favorite artists are people who you know immediately who they are. Like Sonny Rollins, you know the sound of his saxophone. John Coltrane. Prince. Prince is Prince. Like, there's no question. As soon as you hear him sing, as soon as you hear the music, you know it's Prince. Stevie Wonder, immediately you know it's Stevie Wonder. Like, to me, Sting, the greatest artist, you know, the greatest artists, you know exactly who they are. Photographers, filmmakers, Spike Lee, that is a Spike Lee film, right? Like, you know when it's a certain director. I think that when you have a very bold kind of strong sensibility about the way you produce your art, the way you create, when you make bold, strong choices, to me that's an advantage. But I know a lot of people like to work with people who could do anything and everything. And I have great respect for that because that's absolutely amazing. But it's not my thing. I mean, it's crazy. Like, was it dirty? The hallway, the walls, was she, you know, walking barefoot on some nasty ass dirty carpet or a cold wood floor? I mean, was it clean? You know, her bathroom, the bed, you know, was it clean enough for a kid, a child, a 10-year-old? So I'm looking forward to getting with Peckman again. I'm looking forward to compensating him properly. I'm looking forward to hanging out with him because he's such a great guy. And I am so proud of this script. I've gotten great feedback already from a lot of people. The one person I haven't heard from is my dramaturge because I don't know where she is or what she's doing. She's in some other part of the world now. But I've heard from people who are writers who I greatly respect and admire and who are always very honest and straightforward about their opinions. And so I love this script. I think it's, you know, it's something I'm so excited about. I think I already said that, so I must be doubly excited. And yeah, so I want to do one thing real quick. You know, this is a parfocal lens, which means when you change the focal length, it stays in focus. So I focused this distance from the lens at f8 is pretty easy, but I'm going to set it to 50 millimeters now because I shoot almost everything at either 28 or 50. And I'm actually going to shoot the Red Plaid Suitcase with anamorphic lenses. So I'll be shooting with my 24 millimeter APS-C anamorphic lens, 1.33 squeeze factor, and my 35 millimeter, same thing, 1.33 APS-C lens. And that is a 27 and 40 equivalent. So it's pretty much 28, 50, same thing, because I have a Minolta 28 millimeter f2.8 vintage lens and a Minolta 50 millimeter f1.4 vintage lens, and I shoot with those two all the time. This is the end for me. The last film that I did was shot solely with 28 and 50, the Minolta lenses, 28 millimeters, 50 millimeters for the whole film. The center of distance I shot with my phone, and that was with an LG V40, which has a 27 millimeter focal length. And obviously I couldn't change it because it's a phone. So anyway, let me switch this to 50 millimeters, and you can see how different it is, and it's parfocal. Was it clean enough to maybe help her to feel safe? I mean, I don't know. I'm just wondering, like, was anybody ever there for this little kid? I don't know. So it's going to keep me. And what's cool is that I don't have to change. I just got to bend down a little bit. I don't have to change the aperture, even though this is not a fixed aperture lens, but I'm at f8, so it's staying at f8. I don't have to change it. If I was at f3.5, it would change to f5.6 probably, or somewhere around that. So anyway, as you can see, excuse me, I'm still in focus. The bridges look closer to me now. There's that compression. I know people like to argue about that, but it looks compressed at least. I don't know if it's literally scientifically compressed, but it looks different. But the exposure is the same, and this is at 50 millimeters, and I should still be in focus. If it truly is parfocal, I could certainly see myself a lot better in the monitor now. And so, yeah, I think I'm going to end this video now at 50 millimeters. Thank you so much for watching this. Please subscribe or consider subscribing if you haven't, and hit the like button if you like what I do. And please consider joining my Patreon. I have an incredible collection of amazing human beings who are my Patreon members, really, really supportive, interesting people. Most of them are artists themselves doing work, and they communicate with one another. And I recently dropped my script on them, so you get to see stuff like that behind the scenes if you're a Patreon member. So that would be incredible. And also, I'm doing a GoFundMe. I have an ongoing GoFundMe for the red plaid suitcase for the film that I'm trying to raise this money for. And so consider checking out the GoFundMe. That would be awesome too. You would have superhero status in my life. And yeah, that's all I got to say about that. I'll get a couple of shots from around here, show you how beautiful it is, although I have no light left really, so I don't know how much I'll get. There's a beautiful tree. I'm going to take a picture of that tree, even though there's all this crap over here. So yeah, I'll get a couple of pictures real quick, but see you later. I'm just thinking about this little girl. Like, you know, imagine that first day that she was placed in that orphanage, like the first moment she was left there. I mean, damn, who brought her there? And how did that person feel when they were like on their way home alone in their car or on a train or whatever without this little girl? Like they just dropped this little innocent 10-year-old vulnerable person off at this place. I mean, that had to be weird for that adult, right? Whoever brought her there and then just dropped her off and turned around and left without her. I mean, that had to be weird, right? Or maybe it didn't even happen like that. Like, I don't know, like maybe somebody, meaning some stranger, just like shows up one day to come and get this little girl, to take her away from her own home like that without this little girl even knowing what the hell was going on. I mean, could have been like that too. I mean, fuck. I mean, that shit just like, that hurts my heart. Like, that shit is fucked up. You know, like whether she was dropped off or picked up or whatever, that shit is fucked up. And, you know, I'm thinking about this too. Like, who's there when this little girl is like putting her pajamas on at night, getting ready to go to sleep? You know, like something as simple as that. In the dark. Or is it even dark? Like, I don't even know. Like, maybe she's sleeping under those big fucking industrial lights. I mean, can she even sleep at night? Is anybody reading to her or talking to her? Like, she wouldn't talk? Like, seriously? I mean, come on. Was anybody even around to be listening? I mean, who's she going to talk to really? What's she going to say to a bunch of people she doesn't even really know? And what about this? Like, what if she had to get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night when she first got there that first night? Right? Like, she's in this strange place, trying to find this strange bathroom, and she might have to walk down this scary little dark hallway. Like, what was it like? I mean, think about that. You know, I mean, was it dirty? The hallway, the walls, was she walking barefoot on some nasty ass dirty carpet or a cold wood floor? I mean, was it even clean? You know, the bathroom, her bed, like, was it, goddamn. Was it clean enough for a kid, a 10-year-old, a child? Was it clean enough to maybe help her to feel safe? I mean, I'm just wondering, like, was anybody ever there for this little kid? I'm just asking.